Hi everybody, Kim from Oz here, and welcome to another How to Speak Australian, the D words. So let's get straight into it. And the first word is dax. Now, dax is the Australian word for pants or long pants. So you might be wearing your good dax if you're going to a wedding. So dax means long trousers. Dal. Now, only women, well, most women use this, I guess, at one stage, but dal is just short for darling. So you might go up and say, "How you going, dal?" And, well, actually, both men and women use it too. So dal, if you want to talk about someone in a cute sort of way, dal. Dag. Now, if you call someone a dag, you're sort of really trying to say, well, you're quite funny and you're a bit cute, but you're also a little bit frustrating. So it's sort of a term of endearment, really. So you might go up to your friend and say, you're just acting like a real dag. So dag. Damper. Now damper, not so much just an Australian word, but damper is an Aussie word for bread that you make in the fire. So if you're out camping, you might put flour and water together and put it into the hot coals, and you make damper. Dead set. Now, a lot of young people use that, and really just means I really mean it. So say if someone says to you, oh, I just saw my friend and he won the lotto or the lottery, and you might go, oh, dead set. So it's in a bit of an exclamation mark. Yeah, dead set. Followed by deadhead. So if someone is really not that bright, or well, you're not feeling that well, maybe you're not feeling sick, feeling a bit sick, so you might say, oh, that person's a bit of a deadhead. Probably someone who's not really worth worrying about. Deadly, another exclamation. So you might use it it was something really, really good. You might say, oh, it was a real deadly band last night, or they were really deadly. So deadly. Dero. Well, dero is just a short term for derelict, and it's usually for someone who is maybe living on the streets, or a hobo, or perhaps even not just a person, it could be a place. You could say, oh, that's a real dero area. So dero for derelict. Digger, a really true Aussie word. Now, digger has its origins in the First World War, when, well, supposedly the Australian troops were digging trenches to fight, and so we call them the diggers, and that's used as a term of endearment for anyone who has served their country in the military in some way. But it's also just describes the Australian good quality of Australian people. So it's a spirit of the digger or mateship. So digger. And of course, if someone calls you a dill, well, it's probably a polite way of calling them an idiot. So, hey, you know, my friend was acting like a real dill the other day. So, dill. Dingo's breakfast. Tiny bit hard to explain, but I'll sort of try and have a go. If you're saying something, or, you know, I had a dingo's breakfast this morning, it usually means you woke up, you went to the bathroom, and then you left to where you're going without eating anything. So dingo's breakfast. You can also use it as a way of explaining that something is finished, done as a dingo's breakfast, or done as a dog's breakfast. So dingo's breakfast. Dinkum. Well, if something is dinkum, it's true, it's honest, it's real, and a lot of times we say fair dinkum. Are you being fair dinkum? Are you being honest? Are you being correct or real? So a very Australian word. So dinkum. Followed by dinky die. Dinky die means genuine. So if you bought some electronic gear and they were made by the real manufacturer, you'd say it was a dinky die and whatever it is. So dinky die really means genuine, the real thing. So this video is dinky die Australian. Drop kick. Well, drop kick is usually referring to someone who probably is a bit of a no-hoper, who doesn't really think things through properly. So you could say, oh, that bloke was a bit of a drop kick. And so it's not a great term, but it sort of describes someone who's really, just really doesn't do the right thing and doesn't probably think things through. Now, a drop kick is also a name of a kick that we have in our Australian rules football, where you throw the ball down and as it hits the ground you kick it away from you, and quite a bit of skill involved. But so yeah, someone is a bit of a drop kick is they probably aren't that smart. And close to that is dipstick, which basically means the same thing. So dipstick being the thing that you check the oil in your car, and someone's a bit of a dipstick, so it's a way of describing them in a joking sort of way that they're really not that smart. So dipstick. Dob. Well, to dob in Australia is to tell on someone, or to go to someone and say that someone has done something. So you might dob on someone. You might tell them, oh, there's an ant. So if you do dob on someone, you might be called a dobber. So Australians don't like to dob. We tend to protect our mates and don't do it, but dob. Docket. Well, that's a receipt from the store. So you get a docket at the cash register. Dole bludger, well, that's someone who doesn't work and takes money from the government, and we say that they're a bit of a dole bludger. Not a really positive term, but it just sort of describes someone who doesn't really want to work and just uses taxpayer money to live a life without responsibility. So, dole bludger. Duvalaki. Well, it's a way of describing something you can't describe. So you might say there's a bit of an invention or something that you don't quite know what it is. So you say, oh, well, just go and grab that Duvalaki. It's sort of a way that to say something that you don't quite know what it is. All right, Duvalaki. Down under. Now I put this one in because Australians don't really use this term. A lot of other people in other countries do. We don't actually use down under. We understand it, we can use it for ourselves, but really Australians don't often refer to ourselves as those from down under. Drongo. Well, drongo is another term, a nice term for someone who's acting a bit of a fool and probably isn't that smart, so don't be a drongo. Duffer. A duffer is again someone who jokes around a bit, probably again isn't that smart, and if you're acting a bit of a fool but being nice about it, you might be called a duffer. Dummy spit, again not Australian, but yeah, we use it a lot. If someone's just giving up and acting up because they didn't get their way, we say they spit the dummy, or having a bit of a dummy spit. Now a dummy is a pacifier if you're from America. Dunny. Well, the Australian word for toilet. And durry, the Australian word for cigarette. So, I'm going to make myself a durry, and I'll see you in another Talking Australian video. This is Ken from Aussaying. See you later.